Greetings and welcome everyone to Alien Spidy. Alien Spidy is an indie platformer game where you go around shooting your web at people and then just running through the levels. It's basically like a time trial sort of game, but with platform elements and Spider-Man, but without the man. It's pretty interesting, so I suppose we should just jump right into it so I can show you what I mean. So I haven't done that much in terms of the game. I've played for about 60 minutes and I've almost finished the first world, so I'm going to show you one of the levels that I think is probably one of the worst ones. So, level 114, you can see right now that it says continue, press the A button. I'm pressing the A button. It's doing nothing. That's because it's for an Xbox 360 controller. But I don't have one of those plugged in. So why does it, display the Xbox 360 controller button? Why? I don't fucking know. The game's pretty silly. That's actually a huge problem I have with the game. I have no idea what buttons to press at certain times. It's like, oh, press the A button. But you can press the A button for as long as you want. Nothing's going to happen. Or it'll tell you to press the Y button to make something else happen. And nothing will happen because it's not the Y button you need to press. It's one of the other million buttons on the keyboard you need to press. So it's very confusing when you're getting told to do something, and then you do it, and the game's like, haha, no, that's wrong, you idiot. It's like, you lied to me. Anyway, aside from that, this game is, can I get up there? Hold on, what is this? See, I can get up here. So, I suppose that's a nice way to explain the game. You are a spider that can shoot webs at objects, and you use that to swing your web, Spider-Man style. It's very basic stuff. And so your goal is to go from the start of the level to the end of the level, avoiding danger, enemies, and basic stuff like that, and just do it as quickly as possible while picking up the most amount of orbs. So you can see here, these are the orbs that will give us some points for our score, and the higher our score, the higher our ranking. If we get over a set amount of score, we'll get a star for our score. So if we say pick up 200,000 points, that'll give us like a 5-star rating or something like that. But if we were to only pick up, say, 25,000 points, then we'd only get like a 2-star rating or something like that. That's just an example, by the way. That's not actually how the scoring system works. So, yes, in order to shoot your web, you must point your crosshair. That's this little crosshair here. You gotta point it, and then left click, and then that's how it works. In order to swing, you press A and D, and then you can swing your little web. I believe your web can break after a certain amount of time, or if you just bend it in too weird of a fashion. Actually, let's just see. I'll just stay here and see if it breaks. No, so yeah, it seems like the only way it'll break is if you bend it in a weird fashion. So let's just see if we can't break this soon enough. Actually, no, it doesn't look like it's going to break. Jeez. It's actually very inconsistent with how weak the webs are, because sometimes they'll break instantaneously, then other times, yeah, they'll be, made of fucking titanium. Anyway, let's get this game started. Okay, so you can see here, these little water droplets are dropping, and those are the enemies. So if you ever heard the nursery rhyme, up came the water and washed the spider away or whatever, that's basically this. We don't want to get washed away, because if we do, well, this will happen. We'll get killed and we'll be at that checkpoint, so now we just have to avoid it. There we go, simple as that. And now we've avoided our first enemy, and, oh, whoops. Or, not our first enemy, rather, but one of our first obstacles. And I keep failing now, because I'm rushing it. Okay, so there actually seems to be, this very small delay when you press the jump button. You'll jump, you'll press the jump button, it'll wait, like 20 milliseconds or so, and then it will actually jump up. I think this was a design choice to emphasize the web swinging instead of just straight up platforming, because that's the game's actual mechanic, web swinging. So they want to try and have you always web swing. But it feels really weird to play a platformer where jumping just is very sloppy, and it can get really annoying very quickly, because a lot of the time you are forced to do a lot of basic regular platforming. So the jump delay and such, it's like, it makes it very difficult to play. Also, you can see here, my crosshair is easily lost in the background. Look at one shade of blue against another shade of blue isn't very good for terms of contrast, okay? So, like, I'm already losing where my crosshair is supposed to be placed. So instead of trying to accurately place my web and moving along and trying to beat the game, I'm just looking for my fucking crosshair because it's just disappearing. So, yeah, here we are. So we're just swinging across on the objects. We can swing on ladybugs, we can swing on flowers, we can swing on trees, and basic stuff like that. We can also increase the length of our web by pressing A and D. So we can press D to make it go out further, and A to bring it back in. So let's just swing on over there. There we go. And so this part here is actually one of the parts where it actually encourages a lot of platforming. So you see here, we just have to jump over it. But because of the delay, it actually makes it quite difficult to accurately time the jump. Anyway, that's that level. And it's pretty annoying losing your crosshair and such. Anyway, so let's just restart that, because as you saw, we had to do a basic thing. We had to do a challenge, beat it in a specific time, and the faster we do it, the higher our score and such. So let's retry, which I don't know the fucking button to retry. Spacebar is to continue, R is leaderboards, but what's B or back to menu? I'm pressing B, doing nothing. It's pointless. Start, I don't have a start. I have pause break. That does nothing. Enter. Oh, did that do it? Did that retry? Or did that continue? No, that was a continue, I believe. Yeah, that was a continue. So that actually continues it up as well. See? It's like, it's confusing because it's like, hold on, how do I actually move in this game? You're telling me to press these buttons, and then those buttons aren't even the correct ones. You're forced to go into the options menu, how to play. No, sorry. Controls, and they're unrebindable, by the way, so you cannot rebind any of these keys at all. So you have to go in here to find out what does what. Otherwise, you'll be completely confused. And even then, you're still pretty confused as to what does what, because, like, it doesn't say, like, oh, this is the retry button. Like, it doesn't say, oh, you know, you just press F, that's the retry button, or whatever. Like on the actual, like, when you go to finish the level and it says retry, like, not that, like, it says respawn, like, you hold R and it'll respawn you, but it doesn't tell you what's what, so it's really confusing as to what button I'm supposed to press. There is no Xbox 360 controller plugged into my computer right now. I don't have, like, any of the Xbox related things plugged in at all, so, like, I looked for every single process that could possibly be related to the Xbox 360, and I uninstalled or removed it or deleted it or just whatever, and it's still appearing. So that leads me to believe that this was actually how they've released the game, and this is how, like, I think everyone gets it. I'm not 100% sure, but it's pretty ridiculous if that's the case. So here's another example of an area where you can easily lose your crosshair in this background. So you can see here, it's a light blue crosshair that we need to actually aim and pinpoint onto these tiny little things, like these ladybugs. We have to accurately place our web on them in order to succeed and continue playing the game. And if we miss, well, then we die and we're forced to retry. But losing your crosshair in the background doesn't feel fair. If I was to just straight up miss because I missed and then that's fine. I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with losing my crosshair and then dying because I spent all that time when I should be trying to accurately place my crosshair. I spent it just going, where the fuck did my crosshair go? And shaking my mouse in order to try and put it onto a darker background in order to show an actual contrast between colors. So you see here, like black on blue, or blue on black, like, oh yeah, I can see that, but blue on blue, when everything is going incredibly fast, like, that is pretty much impossible in order to see that. And you saw that was actually pretty bullshit, I thought. Like, he will kill you just by touching you, even though you already gave him the apple and such like that. He'll still kill you, and it makes it really difficult to see. His reach is far too strong, or wide, I think. And you're forced to constantly repeat this stuff, and it's not challenging because it's fair, it's challenging because the game's a jerk. You have to avoid it. Look at, I was decently far away, I'd say, so It's just like, this game feels unfair. Like, I'm not dying because I missed, or something like that. I'm dying because, like, I can't find my crosshair, I can't do any of that. There's no option to change the color of the crosshair, so colorblind people as well, it's like, well, you're shit out of luck, mate, if you're colorblind and you can't see it, because, you know, it's going to just be a big mess. So, like, whatever, we don't want you, apparently. It's just, this game doesn't have the right amount of polish, I think. Like, if they were to maybe change the color of the crosshair, or give you the option to change the color of the crosshair, or just put, like, a black outline around the blue, that would work as well. That would work just as well. Like, if blue and black would work, because then the black outline would make it clear on blue backgrounds, and the blue would make it clear on black backgrounds and all the other color backgrounds. So just do that, and then it's like, it's so much simpler, and you can actually tell what's what. Or maybe, like, as far as I know, there's no colorblind option, so maybe, like, an option to maybe make it orange or something else like that. It's just, this game lacks the amount of options in order to make it very playable. Maybe it would be better with a gamepad. I assume it would be, considering that, you know, it tells me to use a gamepad. Like, well, it doesn't tell you, but I mean, the fact that it doesn't even bother to show you the keyboard controls, and instead shows you the Xbox controls, that just goes to show how much they actually care about the PC layout. So it just feels really odd. Like, this control scheme just doesn't work for this game at all. So trying to use a keyboard and a mouse, it just doesn't work. So maybe if you have a gamepad, it would work like a million times better, and then you could enjoy this game and you could actually play it and stuff like that. And if so, then, like, go right ahead, that's great. But for those of you like me who have a keyboard, this game is really annoying, because you have to place the crosshair, which is easily lost in the background. You're constantly being told to press buttons that don't do anything. Oh, press A, but what does A do? Fucking nothing. So it's like, what's start? Is it backspace? Are you sure? Oh, it's backspace. How does start equal backspace? And now it's showing me the keyboard buttons. It's telling me to press enter to accept and escape to cancel. So what the fuck is going on? It can tell me the buttons to press on a keyboard, but apparently it just doesn't feel like it sometimes. Fucking, this game is driving me mental. Yes, I want to return to the main menu. Oh, it's escape is B. Oh, great. This has been Alien Spidey, and it has been annoying. It's on Steam if you want to buy it, so yeah. And as far as tutorials and go like that, it's not that much at all. As settings also has very little. It has VSync, anti-aliasing, screen resolution, full screen. It does have a volume slider though. You can change what the volume is, and that's really nice. I like that. And also, this is a very, very minor gripe, I suppose, but I'm like the only one that really cares. I wanted to see who made the game, so I was like checking out the credits, because I like to give credit where credit is due and watch the credits and, you know, be like, oh, hey, that guy did that, that's actually pretty cool. And oh my dear lord, this has the slowest scrolling credits I have ever seen. There are like 24 people or so that actually worked on this game, and it takes like 7 years for it to show me those 24 people. Freaking insane. But yes, that's a minor gripe that only really affects me, but still, just this game, it has potential. It really does. It's just the crosshair being easily lost ruins it. The delay in jumping, that's really annoying, but I'm going to let that slide as a design choice, or as a creative choice, and that could actually work if the swinging mechanic was more in-depth, or sorry, if the swinging mechanic worked with the crosshair, because as of right now, when you lose the crosshair, you lose your ability to accurately place the web, which makes the game unplayable. So it's like, holy crap, what am I supposed to do? I can't swing my web because I can't place it, because the blue on the blue, when you're swinging at the speed of sound, is easily lost. So fix the crosshair, and also fix the keyboard buttons not appearing. That would be nice. And then this game would actually be really, really good. The animations are fantastic in this game. They're very expressive, very nice. The color and art style, like, the environments are beautiful. The music is fantastic. The sound effects are very meaty. You get a distinct sound when something happens, so you realize, like, oh, I just died, that's what happened. The only real problem, and this is the kicker, this is like the main thing, is like you can't play the game effectively because it's unplayable due to the crosshair. Just that one thing is so important, and they messed it up. This whole game is about swinging on webs, and if you can't swing on the webs, what is the point of playing the damn game? So anyway, yeah, this has been Alien Spidey. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking around. GG.